Here's what happened at the final round of the FIM MX1 MX2 Motocross World Championship at Fermo in Italy. The first MX2 race got underway, and immediately it was Jeffrey Hurlings and Tommy Searle who started to pick their way to the front of the field. Eventually, Tommy Searle going through on the Dutchman. Ken Roczen, the new world champion, was riding a 1.25 and found himself down around about 5th or 6th position in the opening laps, but lost ground in the early stages and eventually had to fight back to claim 5th at the flag. Up front though, Tommy Searle was having a great ride, so too was his teammate Max Anstey. Further on into the race, Nicolas Aubin was making a charge up through the field to finish in 6th position in the race, just ahead of Jake Nichols and the European runner-up in European MX2. Dylan Ferrandis was having a good debut and was on course for 9th position. Jeffrey Hurlings though tried to close down Tommy Searle, but in the end it was Tommy Searle who went on to take victory in Moto number 1. In the first MX1 race, there was no Tony Cairoli or Stephen Frossard. Cairoli away for personal reasons. Sean Simpson was left on the line and eventually would do a few laps but not finish in the points. Up front though, it was Gauthier Paulin who was riding as a wildcard rider in for the injured Stephen Frossard, and behind him it was Xavier Borg, Evgeny Bobryshev, but then he got passed by Jonathan Barragan and here by Kevin Strybos. Max Nagel still had a shot of going for 2nd or 3rd in the championship, but injured his wrist in the time training session on Saturday and pulled out of the race in Moto number 1. Davide Guarneri was having a good ride, found a way past Christophe Pourcel to go into 5th position, but eventually would finish down in 6th. Evgeny Bobryshev came under pressure from Pourcel, eventually finished in 7th. Anthony Boissiere was having a good ride and eventually found himself into 5th, but it was a win for Paulin. MX2 race 2, and it was Tommy Searle who held a tight line going through turn 1, closely followed by Jeffrey Hurlings, Nicolas Aubin and Max Anstey. They were your top 4. Arno Tonis crashed out of 5th position at the top of the hill on the opening lap, and he would work his way back from 27th to finish a fantastic 5th in the second moto. The new world champion, Ken Roczen, crashed out of 4th position on lap 5 and would not finish the race on that 1.25. Jeffrey Hurlings though took the lead on lap 7, and from there it looked like he would go on and take an easy victory. Arno Tonis picking off one of the riders on the way through, Tony Boutron. With about 5 laps to go though, this is how close it was between Tommy Searle from taking the win. He made the mistake and that cost him 11 seconds, and that ended his chance of winning the second moto. Of course that went to Jeffrey Hurlings. He also won the overall Grand Prix. And the final race of the year, MX1 race 2, and it was Christophe Pourcel, Gauthier Paulin, Rui Gonçalves and Carlos Campano who led the opening lap, but before you knew it, Paulin was in front. Frossard, sorry, not Frossard, but Christophe Pourcel was in 2nd and then challenging and went through to take the lead here. Evgeny Bobryshev, newly promoted to 4th place in the championship, went out on lap 2 from 7th position. He would eventually finish in 16th place. It was another good ride for Kevin Strybos, eventually coming home in 4th, but as Gauthier Paulin started to run away with it, he was caught and passed by Christophe Pourcel, but eventually he was caught back by Gauthier Paulin, and they traded the lead, but eventually it was a win for Christophe Pourcel in the moto, but Gauthier Paulin would come over the line in 2nd position to win his first Grand Prix of the season in MX1.